Evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Thursday, August 6, 2015, around 7:38 in the evening, Berwick, Massachusetts. Sun's going to be going down in about 20 minutes. Since June 21st, we lost an hour of sunlight, and it's going to continue to lose sunlight as we head to fall and winter. Some news to report. Fox is going to reboot the TV series Prison Break, and it's Happy National IPD Day for drinking and stuff. So that's about it on the news. And today was the cookout for the season ticket holders of the UMass Lowell Riverhawks ice hockey team. They had a summer cookout for all the season ticket holders, so it was probably a fun time for that. That's about it on the news. My third and final video blog subject of the night is the personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is about the six-time NWA World Champion, the late Lou Thesz. Lou Thesz was one of the most famous wrestlers of all time. He was a shooter. That means he would stretch out opponents and stuff like that. And he innovated a lot of moves, including the belly-to-belly suplex, the German suplex, the Thesz press, and the powerbomb. Lou grew up in Detroit, Michigan area, but he moved to St. Louis as a youngster. His parents were like immigrants from Hungary. And when he was younger, Lou practiced Greco-Roman style wrestling and freestyle wrestling, but he got interested in the world of professional wrestling. He was trained by such wrestlers as Ed Stranger Lewis and Warren Bockwinkel. And Lou made his wrestling debut at the age of 16 in 1932, and he had a 58-year career inside the squared circle. He was one of the roughest wrestlers of all time, stretching out a lot of his opponents and stuff, using a lot of his like suplexes and stuff and Thesz presses. He won many world titles. His first world title he won was in 1937. It was the first of 6 world titles. He won 3 of them in the National Wrestling Association. That was a forerunner to the National Wrestling Alliance and stuff. And Lou wrestled all over the country and stuff in many promotions and stuff, wrestling all the greats like Dick Hutton he feuded with, and Gorgeous George, and Egg Strangler Lewis, and Warren Bockwinkel, and Whipper Bill Watson, and Stephen Casey, and so many others. In 1948, the National Wrestling Association was replaced by the National Wrestling Alliance that was called the NWA. And they recognized the first champion as Orville Brown, and that got Lou Thesz mad because he wanted to become the only world champion. And then he eventually beat Orville Brown and stuff, and had 3 separate reigns as NWA World Champion. So he had actually 6 reigns as the World Champion and stuff. And Lou continued to wrestle in his 40s and stuff. He had a controversial match in 1957 against Eduardo Capriano. It was a very controversial match because it was a best 3 out of 5 falls, and it was tied 2 apiece. But Eduardo Capriano beat Lou Thesz because Lou got an injury and stuff, and like Eduardo Capriano won the match, but he was not recognized as the NWA World Champion. But some promoters recognize it, but they do not. Back then, they did not award the NWA World title for injuries and stuff like that. Eventually, Lou Thesz dropped it to Dick Hutton for that reign, and for the next few years in the late 50s and early 60s, Lou wrestled part-time, and he traveled to Japan a lot, wrestling against many of the Japanese wrestlers, including Zinio and a few others. In the early 1960s, Lou wanted to retire from wrestling and become a trainer, but the NWA called him saying, come back to take back the title because we are having problems with Buddy Rogers. And Lou agreed to it. He beat Buddy Rogers in Toronto in January 1963. It was only a one-fall match. Lou won, and there was talk about kind of a double cross. And the NWA promoters told Lou, if you have to shoot on Buddy Rogers, do it. But he didn't and stuff like that. And at age 46, Lou had another reign as NWA World Champion. He finally dropped the NWA World title for the final time in 1966. His sixth title reign. He was close to 50 years old. He dropped it to Gene Konechski. And then Lou basically became semi-retired and stuff, but he stepped in the ring from time to time and stuff. He actually winning some titles here and there and yet. And in 1978, he won his final title. It was a title in Mexico, the UWA title. He was 62. He won it, and he held it for a few months before retiring for good in the world of wrestling. But from time to time, a lot of the promoters would bring back Lou Thesz as a special guest referee and stuff. He was the referee for the Ric Flair's first world title win against Dusty Rhodes in 1981. Also, Lou Thesz was a referee for infamous Rowdy Piper versus Jimmy Superfly Snooker match in the WWE in 1984 in St. Louis and stuff. And Lou Thesz was a little bit critical about the direction of pro wrestling going from like kind of a legitimate sport to sports entertainment and stuff like that. He said all the credibility to Vince McMahon for making wrestling, like promoting it more and more, but he says the actual wrestling turned out to be a cartoon show and stuff. He did not want to have any part of it. Lou actually wrestled one time for the WWE in a Legend Best Battle Royal in 1987. And Lou's final match was in Japan in December of 1990, wrestling Maruso Chono, and he was 74 years old, and he actually helped train Chono and stuff like that, and he wanted to have a student versus teacher match. Lou lost that match, and that was the final time he stepped in the ring at the age of 74. And Lou, for the rest of his life, appeared at wrestling conventions. He was the president of the Kali Flower Club, and he was inducted in WCW Hall of Fame in 1993 and stuff. And a lot of the wrestlers loved to idolize Lou Thesz and stuff like that. He wrote a book called Hooker. It was an autobiography and stuff, and saying his entire career. And Lou was really like a hooker type wrestler and stuff like that, because he would stretch you out and stuff like that. And Lou Thesz continued to go to wrestling conventions and stuff until the early 2000s, when he passed away at the age of 86 due to open heart surgery and stuff like that. But Lou Thesz was an innovator in so many moves and stuff like that. He was probably maybe the top 5 in best wrestlers of all time for like pure wrestlers and stuff like that. He was a face most of his career and stuff like that, but sometimes in some territories he wrestled as a heel and stuff like that. But he was such a good wrestler and stuff like that. And that's about it on Lou Thesz, and that's about it on these video blogs. Tomorrow, 3 more are coming your way: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. First video blog will be about Kelly's roast beef. I'll tell you a story about that. Second video blog, I will talk about why 1995 was the worst year in the world of professional wrestling in the United States. It was goddamn awful. I'll tell you some of the reasons why it was so goddamn awful. And the third and final video blog of the night will be the personality profile. That personality profile tomorrow will be about former NWA World Champion, the late great Gene Konechski. keep calm, and I'm a Julie Brennan guy. Molly Rosenbach of Fox 35 Rocks, and she has nice legs. In the words of Sean Lucha, get out. 9 more days until the first ever Ask Rich bulletin. So Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, get those questions ready. Send them in, because I have some questions already. I want more. And lots of good stuff coming in days, weeks, months, and years ahead. And Monday will be a personality profile on Patrice Bergeron of the Boston Bruins. Only a few more weeks to Bruins season. Good night. Bye now.